Africa's success could lie in the effective management of the continent's abundant natural resources, the attitude of its people, good governance and economic development partners who are determined to promote sustainable economic growth to reduce poverty, a principle that is the mission of the African Development Bank. African Development Bank, building today, a better Africa tomorrow. In line with its 6th National Development Plan, SNDP, covering the period 2011 to 2015, the Zambian government included the development of infrastructure, agriculture, health, and education as sectors that would contribute to the reduction of poverty. In this regard, easy access to clean water and agriculture development was some of the priority interventions initiated by the government with donor partners such as the African Development Bank. Infrastructure development in the water sector to improve access to water supply and sanitation, as well as for irrigation, have been underway in various provinces in Zambia and have had a positive impact on the lives of the rural populations where they have been implemented. The African Development Bank is involved in most of these projects. In 2007, only 41% of the total population of Zambia had access to clean and safe water. This is despite Zambia having the largest water resource in southern Africa. This access to clean and safe piped water benefited 83% of the urban population, while a mere 19% benefited the poor rural population. The Nkhana Water Supply and Sanitation Project is a project within the national program, and it is supported by the Zambian government and the African Development Bank, with a funding of $63 million and covers the entire operation of the Nkhana Water and Sanitation Project, which covers Kitwe, Kalulushi, and the Chambeshi urban and peri-urban areas. The infrastructure expansion program in Kalulushi included the works at Mwembeshi Dam. The objective of the project is to, among other things, increase access to water, increase the sanitation coverage, as well as reduce the incidences of water-related diseases like diarrhea and dysentery. The supply of water in Kalulushi was erratic, and residents used to go for weeks without water for their family needs. Mary Kumbula is a resident of Kalulushi and has a family of 5 children. She has lived in Kalulushi for 5 years.
My name is Miriam Kamanda. I'm a mother of 3 kids. I'm married. Generally, I've stayed in Kalulushi for 5 years. Anyway, fortunately enough, shallow wells, mainly some of our neighbors have got wells, so we used to get water from them. But sometimes they do refuse. There's no water, such things. But again, you have, when your neighbor says no, you have to walk now for at least for a distance to go and draw water from another shallow well.
With the improved infrastructure, water delivery is expected to improve to meet the demands of the ever-growing population, and will see the end of the communities going without water supply for weeks on end, to the targeted 24-hour-a-day water access in the urban and peri-urban areas of these towns.
I must say, as Nkhana Water and Sewerage Company, we have the mandate to provide water and sewerage services to our customers in the urban and peri-urban areas of Kitwe, Kalulushi, and Chambeshi. And in providing these services, I must say that we have faced quite a number of challenges. And major of these challenges is the old and dilapidated infrastructure that we have to use to provide this service. This infrastructure was laid quite some years back, about over 60 years ago. And this infrastructure is not only old, but it is also inadequate to meet the increased demand. With the various challenges we faced, we really quite had reduced hours of supply, as well as erratic water supply in a number of areas. I must say that for the areas where we have completed the project, like Kalulushi, In some areas, we're able to only provide about 8 hours of water, but I must say that today we are able to provide water at about 18 hours. And in some areas, we're actually able to provide 24 hours. So we have seen marked improvement in the hours of supply already in the townships in the towns of Kalulushi and also Chambishi. We're averaging around 18 hours per day.
The water treatment plant ensures that the community receives safe and clean water by testing the water. The project includes the development of the testing laboratories where the quality of water is determined. The investment of $9.8 million in Kapiri include the development of Mushimbili pumps and pump house. The Mushimbili Dam is the main source of water in Kapiri. The water from this dam is treated to serve the community with safe and clean water.
The bank is very active in agriculture in Zambia. We have an active portfolio of over $90 million in 5 projects at the moment. And the bank is also very committed to investing in water and irrigation. And one example of this is the small-scale irrigation project, which we call the SIP. This project, the bank has invested about $10 million in it, and the Finnish government has also invested about $14 million in the same project. And we have 5 sites, irrigation sites, that we intended to develop, and 4 of them are fully developed now. These are Kaleya Malima in Sinazongwe irrigation scheme, Nzenga irrigation scheme, and Nega Nega irrigation scheme.
Elizabeth Malambo is a widow who lost her husband in 2001 and has to take care of her family of 4 daughters and other members of her extended family since she lost her husband in 2001. She's an active small-scale farmer growing sugarcane on a block of 1 hectare in Manyonyo area of the Nega Nega irrigation scheme. She spends a large part of her day taking care of the plantation, which is already the main source of income for her family.
Okay, kulanganya byo kama kuti kujiri kumataliro heko kwamba hinji kama kuti kujiri kumataliro inga kulanganya byo aguswirira ndi yauti inga jiyakuleta hintu yikomani hambulindi sweto mbulindi mende mga hintu mbuli mweyamba kuti ndahwidwa balumwenye na balumi ndi yauti ndiza inga twatalika kulima misale ndirajikonha kuti inga bana bangu barakala bumi bubotu akujikonha kujita honse heya ndaherera mu bumi bwangu.
The sugarcane company, along with the government, assists farmers in the Manyonyo irrigation block with manpower, expertise, inputs, and technical advice. Elizabeth is currently engaged to work on the Manyonyo company's cane nursery. Elizabeth and the farmers in Manyonyo have not yet gotten the full benefit of their produce, as the program is relatively new. They, however, have an option to collect advances on a monthly basis in view of the expected yields. The irrigation scheme in Nega Nega was implemented in the year 2004 through the funding of $8 million provided by the African Development Bank for the construction of infrastructure, such as 3 dams, water canals which carry water to distant cane fields in the scheme, a pump house, and pumps and piping for the entire scheme covering an area of the Nega Nega. The projects have already marketed with the Nakambala Sugar Company, who take up all the produce to meet their huge demand of white sugar in the country and for export. Along with the government, the Manyonyo Irrigation Company assists the small-scale farmers with inputs and other technical advice. The scheme in Kaleya is managed by Kaleya Small Holding Company, whose manager describes the company's operation and relationship with the small-scale farmers.
We have an annual crop. Our sugarcane is an annual crop, so it means you only harvest it once a year. So to help with the management of their resources, their income, we've devised internal structures here, but they're optional. A smallholder will get his income, and he comes into what we call a monthly payment system. So you bring your proceeds, and the company holds it for you, and you get all your records, and you're drawing every month until the next harvest. So it gives them a sense of sort of drawing a monthly salary as opposed to getting a lump sum which can be squandered all at once.
Many of the farmers tell a success story of how their lives have improved and how well the project is working. This symbiotic relationship between the small-scale farmer and the huge farm produce market, such as food processing and distributors, are a sure way in which poverty can successfully be addressed. Better sanitation and hygiene standards, access to clean and safe water, improved infrastructure for irrigation allow for better yields for the market demands. All the voices of the beneficiaries speak of how the projects have impacted their lives in a positive way. If these voices are anything to go by, the realization of a poverty-free Africa may be on the horizon and affirms the success of building today a better Africa tomorrow achievable.